Maybe you're trying to open your filter and it is always getting stuck. Well, today you are in luck. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and hacks on how to get these filter housings unstuck, and also tell you how to prevent them from getting stuck in the future. And the first tip that I've got for you, you may have forgotten to release the pressure out of the system. If you don't release the pressure out of the system, then the filter housing is being pushed apart very hard away from the filter head here, and the threads are creating a lot of friction, and that is really, really difficult to unscrew. So just release the water out of the system. So there are generally two ways to do this. First up is to shut off the water going into our filters. So we can go ahead and close the valve. Now, not to worry if you don't see a valve right here at your filters, just trace your pipework backwards. You're probably going to see it a little bit further back. Now we need to go ahead and release the water pressure across our filters. And the easiest way is just to go into your house, open a tap, let the water run until it slows down to a slow trickle. We can then close the tap once again, and then we can close the valve on the outlet side of our filters. Then once that is closed, you can go ahead and press the little bleed nipple or bleed button here on the top of the filters just to release any residual pressure that may be across the system. You may have to press it in and wiggle it around a little bit and repeatedly press it. And what you're going to notice is as you press it, there's going to be a little bit of water that splashes out here. Not too much, just a little bit as you're wiggling it, and then eventually nothing more is going to come out, and that means the pressure across your system has been released, and that is going to make them a whole lot easier to open. If you have released the water out of the system and it is still being stubborn, believe me, this happens. Maybe you pop your filter spanner on and you're reefing on this thing and the filter spanner breaks, then go ahead and get yourself a second filter spanner. You kind of put them back to back and you can slide them on, and you can use two filter spanners. You may even need to put a piece of pipe on here. Or if you want, you can kind of stagger the spanners and you can use both your hands to rotate it at once. You can also use a strap wrench. Now, if you don't have a strap wrench at home, basically what you can do is you can go grab yourself two shifting spanners. Now, these are the general tools you probably all got at home. I've just got two shifting spanners here, and I'm sure you guys have got some sort of flat rope, or these things are what are they actually called, ratchet straps, or some tie downs. This is just like an old tie down, literally. It's very easy. If you don't have one of these strap wrenches, you can just make your own. And the way we do this is we take just the bottom of our shifting spanner here. You can see it's nice and flat, and it's got a bit of a flat section there. And we take the flat section of our flat rope and we kind of loop it around here. Hopefully you guys can see this. We make a bit of a loop and we pull it flat like that. So here's the two ends. Don't worry about all of this other rubbish hanging here. We just do that. And then we take our spanner, we put our spanner in front there, and we take this and we wrap it around and overlap over itself. So we wrap it around there and overlap it over itself, and then we can do that once more over itself. So what we're left with is we pull it tight like that. It's not going anywhere, and we're left with a nice loop here. So now we can go ahead and slip this onto the bottom of our filter. And as you can see here, and I can see I've just made a mistake because we want to rotate it that way. So as I start rotating it, it unwinds our flat strap. So it's a good example here. I've wound it around the wrong way. So we'll just go back to the start again. Take our flat strap here. Here's the two ends. So last time we wound it clockwise around. So we want to take our spanner, put it in front there, and we wrap it anti-clockwise, folding over itself and pulling it tight, folding over itself once again and pulling it tight. So there, once again, we're left with our loop. We can put the loop over the bottom of the filter here, pick it up to the top here where the grooves are nice and deep, and we take our spanner and we kind of roll it in and roll it up. And you can see I'm turning here, and what it's doing is it's pulling this flat rope tight around the filter housing. Now we can take our second shifting spanner. Let's just move this out of the way so that you guys can see what's happening here. Don't worry about that. So we take our second shifting spanner and we put it onto the housing here, or onto the, not onto the housing, but onto the handle of our other shifting spanner, and we can rotate it. And as we rotate it, it makes this flat strap really tight, and it starts unloosening the filter. Now this is the same way that the strap wrenches work. If you prefer to buy one of these strap wrenches, I'll link it in the description. So, and also if you want to support the channel, I wouldn't mind you using that link. It's an Amazon link. It doesn't cost you anymore, but I'll just make a small commission from that. Helps support the channel, helps keep the videos coming to you guys. But that is another way to get these filters loose. If your if your plastic spanners keep on breaking, or if you can't get enough leverage on them. I have also heard of another way. I haven't actually tried this, but if none of that wants to work, you can take a hairdryer and you heat up the plastic head here. You kind of heat it up evenly all around. You get it quite hot, not melting hot, but you get it quite hot, and that might release the O-rings slightly. It's generally those O-rings that are really sticky inside there. Like I say, I haven't tried that method before, so maybe go and Google that, see if it works for you. I'm sure others have, and you can get further instruction from that. Arguably, this is probably the most important tip of them all. How do we prevent these filter housings from getting stuck in the future? Well, two basic things: don't over tighten them, and the most important, don't forget to apply lubricating grease to the O-ring seal. That way there's much less chance of it getting stuck at a later stage. So we can go ahead and take our silicone grease, we can put a little bit on our finger, and then we kind of just rub a thin film around the O-rings. If you want, you can also put some on the plastic threads. Not strictly necessary, but as long as the O-rings are coated, you should be good to go. Now, the reason we do this is that when we screw our filter back into the head, we want these O-rings to seat smoothly and evenly. Vaseline, we shouldn't use Vaseline to lubricate these O-ring seals. Why? Well, because Vaseline is a petroleum-based lubricant, and it will attack or eat away at natural rubber or silicone-type seals. It is fine with nitrile or, say, Viton seals, but who's to say what type of rubber that your O-ring is made out of? So it's just safer to use a silicone-based grease, and because we use this water in the house, it needs to be a food-grade silicone grease. If you guys know of a better way or a better method to do this, just leave us a nice detailed comment in the comment section, and then everybody can learn from that. Also, if you would like to support the channel, remember I will leave links in the description to things like the silicone grease that you can get and some of the tools that you need to do these filter changes. I may also even link some of these filter housings and some pumps and some other various bits and pieces. Please go use those links. It does go a long way to support the channel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and before you go, I think there's going to be another video that you're interested in. I will link it up here. Cheers.